Hi, my name is Jessica Heritage and I have Tourette Syndrome. Tourette Syndrome, for those of you who may not know, is a neurological disorder. It's characterised by uncontrollable sounds and movements known as tics. For me, this involves tics such as squeaking, clucking, popping. I say different words, one of them is licorice. I say it in quite a high-pitched tone. I have different phrases. I have different syllables that I say, like or ha, which is going to cause me to tic. I also have echolalia. Which is repeating the sounds from external sources and words from just external sources, so from other people or from things around me. I also have pelalalia, which is repeating myself, my words, my phrases and things like that, which for me comes out a lot as like a stutter. So I'll try to say a sentence, I'll get hooked up on a particular letter or particular sound in what I'm saying, and I'll keep repeating it over and over again. I also have motor tics. This involves things like clicking my fingers. I stomp a lot. I press up on my toes like I'm tiptoeing. I tap a lot of things, so I'll tap my legs or tap my feet, but I'll also walk past an object and I'll have to touch it or tap it. I drop to the ground a lot. I have a lot of eye rolls and facial grimaces. My torso and spine has like this weird jerking, twisting movement. I also stretch a lot, and I also do a lot of different things with my fingers, so this is one of them. I also fall into the 15% of people with Tourette's that have coprolalia and copropraxia. So coprolalia is the swearing, which I have quite a few of, single words and phrases. And then copropraxia is vulgar gestures. So me personally, I flip people off a lot. That's kind of like one of my baseline tics, which I do a lot. Tourette syndrome is actually also a neurodevelopmental disorder. Personally, I have quite a few sensory issues. Like auditory input is another one that comes with the sensory, I guess. For me, that's like sudden noises, and it's very loud. It will literally cause my tics to just suddenly come into play. And then, yeah, textures. So sand between my toes. I hate sand. It sets my tics off. I also have social skill deficit, which for me, I have trouble understanding social construct. And I have a lot of trouble understanding like people's emotions and stuff like that. I can't tell if someone's lying. I have a lot of trouble with sarcasm. Another one is explosive behaviours. So for me, that comes on when I'm really anxious, really anxious and stressed and frustrated. I go from quite a mellow personality to a very intense, almost really panicky and over the top and just in 0.2 seconds. Another thing is continuous talking, which is interesting because I actually have a lot of trouble talking, but it does come out. For me, I do have it. So I'll be talking to somebody and it's actually more of an anxious thing for me, so I'll get really anxious and then I won't be able to stop talking, so I just keep going and just saying anything that comes to mind. Another thing that comes under that as well is rigidity. So there's also co-occurring disorders with Tourette syndrome. For me, I have OCD, so obsessive compulsive disorder. It can be really bad some days, and other days I'm fine. One of my main ones is textures under my feet. So if I'm walking on carpet, or just walking in general, whatever foot I start with, I have to finish with the other foot before I can change the texture underneath it. So if I start walking with my right foot, I have to make sure my left foot finishes touching the carpet before I can go onto lino. So I take a step with my right foot, step with my left foot repeatedly, and then so obviously I'll have 6 steps on each foot, and then I can go onto lino or grass or wherever I'm going. Which means I will come to a stop and have to lift up, tap my foot down before I can continue forward. I also can't step on cracks in the ground. Massive anxiety attacks, so that comes into OCD as well. And having similar sensations on both sides of my body. So if I hurt my right arm, for example, I've got to hurt my left arm in exactly the same spot, exactly the same way. Obviously that can be a little bit of an issue at times, so I've got to be very, very careful. I also have executive dysfunction, anxiety and depression, and insomnia. These again all come under Tourette's and are all kind of twisted and intertwined with Tourette syndrome. So yeah, that is my experience with Tourette's. Obviously, not everybody is the same. You could have completely different set of tics, completely different set of social emotional problems or co-occurring disorders, but you also might have some of the ones that I do. So yes, I hope that might be helpful, and hope that gives you a bit more of an understanding of what Tourette's is and what it has, and that it's not just tics. So thank you for watching.